I'm Adrian Ghobrial. Following months of public confrontations that included an employee boycott of all GM vehicles to private negotiations in recent weeks, today the president of GM Canada came together with the head of the union representing auto workers here in Oshawa to announce that the plant behind me is going to be sticking around, at least for now, though the work being done inside is going to change drastically, as well as the number of employees.
Thank you.
As the presidents for General Motors Canada and Unifor share a handshake for the cameras, down the 401, a cloud of uncertainty and frustration hangs over GM workers at shift change today.
I mean, they never come out and say, in 5 years, this is what we hope to do. In 10 years, this is hope to do. Like, they never give you the big overall picture.
The forecast for the short term is still bleak for thousands of GM employees in Oshawa. The company today confirming their plan is still to cease all vehicle manufacturing at the plant by this December, though 300 of the 2,600 jobs set to be lost will be retained as the plant is transitioned to a new business model.
It's not a vehicle plant anymore. It is a plant that will be transformed to a new business that will be based on spare parts operation and test track facilities.
The track will be built on 55 acres south of the main plant in Oshawa and will be the first autonomous vehicle test track in Canada. General Motors will be making a $170 million investment that will be split between the transformation of the plant and the new test track of the future. But how the money will be divided remains unclear.
We're not going to go through the breakdown of that today, but the $170 million encompasses both the spare parts operation as well as the test track.
What would take the majority of that $170 million?
We have to finish the project, but on our estimates, it's to be worked out completely.
Today, the union put on their best face, admitting the deal is far from ideal, but it's the best one on the table.
Ultimately, you got to see what's on the books, what's in front of you, and you play the cards you're dealt.
Do you have a number of how many people will be out of a job?
We will canvass our members in the different locations to see who wants to retire to create opportunities for our members in Oshawa.
GM has pledged to transfer some workers to other openings across the province and set up a job action center that will include assistance for those laid off to learn new skilled trades. They're also pledging generous packages, though some long-term employees say the numbers they're hearing aren't even close to enough.
Some people, if the severance isn't good enough, they're staying to keep one of these 300 jobs.
While others believe the parts plant is just further delaying the inevitable.
They've never wanted to get into parts. That's why they got rid of the North plant.
So why start now?
I think it's to cool everybody off.
We haven't been told anything. The media knows more than we do, which is sad.
Now, employees will get a better idea of what is exactly on the table. There is a big meeting scheduled tomorrow with the union at 12 noon. Now, last year when GM announced it was closing down this plant and several others across North America, they said it was in part because they were shifting their focus and their resources to an electronic vehicle future. Now, with the building of this autonomous vehicle track, there is word that it could be a big boon for the local economy. Ahead on City News, we're going to look at what that means for Durham Region. I'm Adrian Ghobrial. Back in November, General Motors announced it was closing down this plant in Oshawa as well as several others as the company shifted its resources to more electric vehicles. Now, as we told you earlier on City News, they will be keeping this plant open. It will be transformed into a parts facility. We're going to have to see what comes of that. They're also going to be opening up Canada's first autonomous vehicle track on the south end of the property. Now, all in all, about 300 out of the 2,600 jobs that were on the chopping block will be retained. It's a pretty small number when you consider the tens of thousands of people who used to work here, though those in the tech industry as well as the Ontario Tech University right here in Oshawa say that test track could be the centerpiece for the local economy moving forward.
Well, I think it's important to realize that we're competing as a region and a local sort of economy in the area with jurisdictions around the world like Silicon Valley, Southeast Michigan, and Germany. So having that capability here in the Durham region really enhances our ability to compete globally in sort of the emerging technologies that are coming into the automotive industry.
What would you say to people who are grappling with the news today in this community, in the surrounding areas, as they try and get a clearer picture of what the future might hold?
I don't know if I have a good answer for them, at least one that covers all of their concerns, but I do know the access to the test track as part of what we're doing from an innovation standpoint in the region through the Autonomous Vehicle Innovation Network is a bonus for our community, and it will give us real opportunity to develop new technologies right here in the Durham region.
GM says the new test track will work hand in hand with a software engineering company that they have just down in Markham that employs about 1,000 people.